What is up, Mercs, Netrunners, and Edge Runners? Today is a very exciting day in the world of Cyberpunk TCG. So, WeirdCo just sent out today, 5/29/2026, a rules update, something that we were very excited and looking forward to seeing what they decided to cook up. So, did they break our hearts? Did they not listen to us and just do what they want to do? Or did they actually listen and make the game better for everybody involved? So yeah, let's just dive into it. So we got the documentation here pulled up. We'll show little snippets of it on screen too for those watching and not driving on their way to work. So the first change, they did 3 changes here. First change is they're changing the name of the ready phase to the start phase. So, I mean, this kind of just makes sense. Ready phase, you ready your spent units, legends, and eddies, draw a card, and then you gain a gig from the fixture area and roll a dice, right? So that was kind of like already what we've been doing, but just to, I guess, not confuse players or new players especially, instead of calling it the ready phase, it is now just going to be called the start phase, which is just obvious, right? So now the first phase is the start phase. It's the start of your turn. So first phase is start phase. Pretty simple thing there, and we're just doing what we've already been doing. We draw a card. We untap pretty much for you Magic players. Draw a card, and then you roll a gig dice. All right, so here's the big daddy change here. The big one we've all been asking for. They have changed the phases in the game. So there's no longer a play phase where you play cards and then an attack phase where you choose what cards to attack with. They have combined them. So a big argument, actually, no one locally that I've done play testing with or demo games with has been asking for this, but what they've been asking for is a main phase 2. So they've been asking for a main phase 2 after attack phase, kind of like Magic the Gathering. But what they decided to do is something that actually reminds me of Hearthstone. Some people say this is similar to Lorcana. I've never played Lorcana because I wasn't able to get product. So yeah, this reminds me of Hearthstone. So you can actually play cards and attack just in any order you want to. So attacking does not end your turn. So you can, let's say, you can go solo. Let's say you have the eddies. You could spend your eddies, play your little hasty or go solo card to attack, and after you attack, you can play more cards. One example that I came into a lot in playtesting is the Arasaka Legend card. I believe it's like I completely forgot his name. But I'll put it on screen here. The Legend card that lets you draw a card the first time you attack with an Arasaka unit. But if your street cred is less than 20, you have to discard. But if it's 20 or more, you can just keep it. So a big thing is like you would draw a card and you'd be like, that would have been, and like I could have played that this turn, or I drew a gear or a program I could sell for an eddy. I never sold an eddy this turn, but now you can. So you could attack with your Arasaka unit, draw a card, see it's something useful you could play this turn, and then you could play it, and then you could choose another unit to attack with. So that is absolutely huge, big game changer. It wasn't really what me or all of the locals I've done testing with or play tests, demo games with have been asking for, but it's better than what it was. So I'm actually really excited. I really like Hearthstone. Actually, I haven't played Hearthstone in a couple of years, but it really reminds me of that game. So yeah, I think it'll be a big game changer. It obviously is. It's a big rules change. And I think it's better off, you know. And the big thing is that they totally could not have changed it. Like, let's think about some other game companies that do not listen to their players. Let's see, Diablo Immortal, like just announcing their game, they're like mocking the audience. The audience was like shooketh. They're like, is this is this an out of season April Fool's joke? And the game dev was just like, what? Do you guys not have phones? Do you have a phone? Do you not have phones? Or the Borderlands 4 like CEO, I think even, he was like, yeah, my game doesn't run on your guys' PCs. Don't you guys have better PCs? Don't you guys have 3090s? It's like they could have just been like totally, I don't know, like stuck up and just pretty much jackasses. But they weren't. They actually listened to the players, and they gave us what we wanted. They gave us. They completely changed. This is pretty much like a game structure change. This is like a game structure change. They completely reworked how the game flows. This is huge, and in my opinion, it is for the better. But so before, if you guys watch my earlier videos, I had a huge complaint with the way you had play phase and then attack phase, and a lot of people were defending it, saying that they want the game to be simple. I was like, making your game simple is not a pro. So before you had to play all your cards in your play phase, and then you would attack. So you pretty much are putting all your like cards on the table. Pretty much. I mean, literally, you're putting all your cards on the table. You're showing your opponent what your game plan is and what you're doing, and then you're going to attack, and then your turn's done. So you're not opening up any lines of play. You're not opening up any like tricks, right? So some tricks, like in Magic, you would attack without playing anything with all your mana open, and your opponent would have to kind of use critical thinking. They'd be like, okay, he's going into attack, he's playing green, so I know he could have maybe a pump spell, or he can make his monster or creature hexproof. So if I try to kill it, he might make it hexproof, or if I block with it, he might pump it. So those are kind of lines of play and critical thinking that's like really, really good in a game. And so now that opens the same line of thinking in this game. Because now, in this set, they're going to have instants called quick cards or quick hacks. They revealed one card, which I'm not actually a fan of, but it shows that they are having instant speed cards out there. So it's going to be the same thing. It's you go to attack, and you have a blocker, and you're going to be like, okay, so he has Eddie's open. He can pump this guy and make him stronger, and I'll just lose my guy. Like, should I block it? Or, oh, he's attacking with an 8. He could pump it for 2, and he could take 2 gigs that can actually win him the game, because I won't be able to take enough gigs on my turn to stop him from winning. So, yeah, those are examples of like lines of play that are very important, and critical thinking for a game to just expand. Like it's more fun to watch too during live events. So I think it's really good. I literally don't know anyone who would think this change is for a negative outcome. So yeah, I'm very, very excited. I cannot wait to do more playtesting. I'm actually holding an event, a big tournament on June 20. So I'm excited to see how people are going to play with these new rules. All right, so let's... and also still on the attack phase, they also changed just like just how you attack in the game. So before, when you attack, if you wanted to take a gig dice, you would just say, all right, I'm gonna attack you to take a gig dice. Or you would say, all right, I'm going to attack your unit that is spent. So now you just say, I'm going to attack your... gig area. So instead of saying you're attacking your opponent, you're just saying I'm attacking you or I'm attacking your gig area to take a dice. So that is one thing. Also, if you want to, there's like a react phase now, right? So before there wasn't really a connotation on when you can play a quick card, but we don't have those anyway, so it hasn't showed up. But a big thing is that people didn't know when you can call a legend on your opponent's turn. Like a lot of players thought you could just you could call a legend whenever on your opponent's turn, but now it's going to be all in the react phase of attacking. So when your opponent attacks you, you have the chance to play your quick cards, or call your legends, or that's the window where you declare blockers. So they didn't say this in the blog, which I'll link in the description below, but I'm assuming that if your opponent declines to attack at all, you will miss your opportunity to call a legend on their turn. So if you kept eddies up to call a legend and your opponent just refused to attack, then I think you kind of lose that opportunity. Unless they clarify this, but from what I've been reading and what other players have been saying, you would lose that opportunity. But anyway, yeah, it just they kind of just clarified how this React phase works. So yeah, I think clarification's good. I think I would want them to do some more rules clarification, which we'll talk about later in the video. And now here's another big change. They are reducing the cost of legends from 2 to 1. So this is huge. One of their main issues is that a lot of players were actually not even calling their legends in alpha testing. So players were actually just playing beatdown cards and just going ham. They're going big. They're dropping a unit and just dropping gear on it, making it a fat 12/12. Going to town, they'll drop the sword where you draw a card when you defeat a unit. Like they would just make this big old tanky dude, and they would be nonstop. Like they aren't even worrying about their legends. So one way to make players care more about calling their legends is they're reducing the cost to call a legend from 2 to 1. So now you only have to spend 1 eddy or 1 mana in this game to call a legend, which is huge, I think. So for like aggro decks, I think that's huge, because a big problem with going first is that you have to spend 2 eddies right away. So you only have 2 available, 3 if you sell a card. So now this opens you up to play on turn 1 a 2-drop. Like you could play a Corpo Security, you could play like any 2-drop, and you could still spend an eddy. If you're going second, this opens it way up now, because you can drop like a 4-drop and sell an eddy. So you could drop like a Delamain's Cab for 4, and then spend your extra eddy to call a legend. So yeah, this makes plays way better. This actually is going to make it a faster game, but it would have made it a faster game. But there's another change that will extend the game. So I think this is a good change. It makes you calling your legend a lot easier. It makes the legends matter more, and legends are a big part of the game. So you should care about your legends, right? So you would think that this would speed up the game because you are just dropping cards easier and calling your legends easier. But another big change they did is they changed the win condition from 6 gig dice to 7. So now in order to win the game, you have to have 7 gig dice in order to win. So they kind of extended the turn by 1 to win, because most people that would have won on 6 dice, you now need 7 dice. So I think that was a good idea too, because a lot of games actually ended pretty quickly, especially in my demo games. A lot of players were winning before like they would have 2 to 3 dice left in the gig area. So yeah, people were winning a lot faster, and that was with 2 legends needing to be called. But that's also a reason of me saying people didn't care about their legends. They were just playing. They were just going wide pretty much. They would have they pretty much, the strategy they would drop a big fatty, and then they would drop a bunch of like cheapy people, like a bunch of cheap 2-3 drops to go wide. They used the big chunky boy to take out any big enemies that their opponent had, and then they'd use the other guys to go wide and just take the gigs. So yeah, this is gonna be good to make games last longer and make the legends matter. So that is huge, I think. But yeah, Those are the game rule changes they announced today. There's also some other rule clarification not announced today, but so one big rule clarification which I need to tell a lot of my local players. A lot of local players think that we'll put on the screen here the blue legend Jackie. So Jackie says the first time you play a blue card, increase a gig by 2. Then if it's at max value, draw a card. So players thought you can just increase a dice to max value, or if a dice is already at max value, they would just choose it, and because it's already at max value, they would draw a card. So they were just chaining it on already maxed out gig dice. That is not the case. So I had it clarified that if a gig is already maxed out and you choose it, you do not draw. You have to at least increase the value of a dice by 1 to draw. So let's say you choose your D4, it's at 2. If you would increase it by 2 to 4, you would draw. If the D4 is at 4 and you choose it to increase it by 2 and draw, it would not work because it's at max value already. So that's kind of a card that they should put a clarification on it on the final card text, saying if a dice is already at max value, you do not draw. So examples like that are some things they should clarify for new players or players that are getting in, or even just casual players, not casual players, like actual tournament players, because they were arguing with me that they can, because it doesn't say they can't. Like they shouldn't have to look at a Discord to see a rules clarification to get clarification on it. That should be on the card, and it will save me time as a judge of arguing with them that you cannot do it. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, very exciting day. I'm very excited for the future of Cyberpunk TCG. I love that WeirdCo is actually listening to their players. Like the last time they kind of failed was when we hit our 25 mil celebration. They just made like the WeirdCo club, like no one cared about that, and then they were like, you know what, we're gonna give you guys 4 more cards in your beta box. So they threw in 4 more cards, way more than we were wanting. So that was pretty cool of them to have listened. And then they listened to the rules change. Very cool. There's one other thing I think would be really cool for them to do that they still can. Put like a promo card. It's not even a playable card. I talked about it in the past. Put like a cool promo card, like you were there. Or like, thank you for supporting our game, and it looks like an Eddie card or something, just to show that you were an original backer. Like, that's a pretty cool promo to put in your binder and just show that, hey, what's up? I was there. I supported the game since the Kickstarter days. I actually might make something like that for our event and just hand them out. So that'll be something cool, at our event. So anyway, thank you guys for listening to my rambling about Cyberpunk TCG. Very excited about this game. I absolutely love Cyberpunk, the video game. One of my top 5 video games of all time. And it has one of the best DLCs of all time. Probably top 2. It's actually tied with Elden Ring's DLC, in my opinion. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about these changes? Are they for the better of the game, or are they worse? So yeah, let me know. Like and subscribe if you guys want to hear more updates about Cyberpunk TCG. We'll be doing box openings, gameplay videos, and or just follow me if you want to see updates on the tournament I'm holding in June, or on June 20 in Fresno, California, or Clovis. It's actually Clovis, California. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.